I finally figured out how these rich people are getting rich without having money. Now, this usually doesn't play this way because usually somebody works a job. Well, you will need a job in this instance, right? But people who come up, right, they work jobs. And then if they're curious enough, they figure out how to become rich. And then they start using these loopholes and these kind of weird ways to make money. But if you were born into a rich family, well, I guess you'd already have money. But just hear me out. This is like a way how somebody with no money could, in theory, come up without needing a whole bunch of money. But then again, you would also need a huge loan from a bank. Now, I guess if you're not in a rich family, you wouldn't have that type of like backing. So you probably couldn't do this, right? Because I remember when I was broke or super broke or maybe less broke than I am now, um, I would try to get loans and stuff. And believe it or not, I tried to get a loan for like 20,000 and buy some Bitcoin Cash. Um, Real quick, my whole idea was I was gonna buy 100 Bitcoin Cash and then I was just gonna sit on it until it came up. There was a point where 100 Bitcoin Cash would be worth, it was hit like $700, so it'd be like 70 grand. And then at the time I was thinking about it, it was like $100. So I would have made good money. But there's another way. But the banks wouldn't loan me any money. Now, so let's say, now that's super, I want to say that's rare because a lot of times it doesn't work out because you don't know what you're doing. But in that instance, it would have worked out. I don't know. I just always thought it was cool Bitcoin Cash, but I don't know. I don't have any right now, but maybe in the future I may toss a couple bucks that way. Maybe, probably not. Probably just Bitcoin. But um, this is how somebody could essentially have no money and turn it into like assets. Now there is multiple ways. Maybe I'll talk about in this video too, but I'll stick to what I was thinking about. Theoretically, if a bank loaned you $10,000, let's say, and I put it into AT&T stock, so throughout, you have to pay interest on it throughout the whole process. If I get a good interest rate, this is also something that's kind of a scam, but actually it is. But let's say you have a favorable interest rate, and AT&T does 10% every year. Well, the interest you're paying will be just basically transferred into the asset's appreciation, and you'd also be receiving a 6% dividend. So, did I say 10,000? Yeah, 10,000. So, you pay on the interest, and your 10,000 may go to, let's say, 11,000, but you paid probably like 900 in interest, but you're getting dividends, which would be 6%, which should be, um, depending on how it's worked out, just say, let's say $600, because like 6% dividend. Okay, so basically you're making money, but you don't actually, you're basically making money. You're paying interest on a 10,000, but your 10,000 is also growing, which is outpacing the interest on the balance, not the, well, I don't know. That was it. Now ideally, this isn't gonna, well, not ideally, this won't work because if you're poor, you won't be able to like get a loan. You may not have good credit. Um, but this is a way I'm going to start exploring to see how I can make money. I will admit I went a different route, at least for a couple of my recent purchases. But this route will still make sense. Um, because I don't think a bank would loan even me $10,000. Not right now. Except without some stupid interest rate, and I'm not paying that. But um, they wouldn't even loan me 10,000 right now because I keep very little in my bank account just because I like to invest all my money. So in their eyes, I'd be considered a risky, I guess, investment, which makes sense, I guess, to some degree. But I do have over 700 credit score, so maybe, but I doubt it anyways. Either way, I don't need their money now, but in the future, I will start exploring this. Like, let's say when crypto takes off and we're all loaded or whatever, we all have a decent bit of money, I'm gonna start um, seeing what I can do, you know, but I'll go slow. But this is basically just a way I wanted to explain how you could essentially take somebody else's $10,000 and then grow your money off of it, and basically get paid to do it. But I will admit, it is kind of a scam because even I couldn't. I suppose if I kept like maybe like $5,000 to $10,000 in my bank account, and then um, maybe they would consider me. But they keep saying like, oh, in the last 6 months you haven't kept like X amount of dollars, and it's like I can't really take the time to keep $5,000 to $10,000 in my bank account for 6 plus months. Maybe I should have it as an emergency fund, but I don't really need one per se because like I don't really have anything coming up. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't really have. I've kind of already taken care of that, so I don't really have too much of a need for emergency fund. And if I do, I can just move my Bitcoin. So there is my emergency fund, but I don't think banks really particularly like me as an investor. And they may honestly not like you either, just because we may be just too high risk for them. But I guess if you're in a perfect scenario, let's say, well, I still probably, that's the thing. It's tough to say because let's say you were in a perfect scenario. Let's say you had 700 credit score. You're at 4,000 in your bank account. You have no debt, right? I think you may not be ready to do this type of investing. You know, you may flounder it. So I guess there is no easy come up, but this is one of the ways how these super rich people make money without actually working. Like I said, I can't even necessarily do this, but maybe in the future I'll be able to, and maybe I can kind of like see what I can get my fingers into. But this is one of the ways how rich people um make money without really doing anything, you know? But it's not as easy as it looks because they have a lot of benefits and a lot of like kickbacks that we don't have access to. So, but I thought I would just throw it out there just to get your mind thinking, you know? Yeah, I'll see you guys next time, man. Peace.